Okay, it's a busy time of year for Vikings GM Rick Spielman, so I've invited him to my office, and I'm going to ask him a little bit about what's going on with the Vikings. First of all, thanks for coming to my office.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I'm glad I had the privilege to sit here.
Right. You were giving us some time to do this interview, but it's a very busy time for you guys in the front office and for the coaching staff. And for people who maybe might not realize why, kind of explain all the things that are happening sort of at one time for you right now.
Yeah, right now, this is a time that you're addressing and trying to identify what the needs are on your offense, defense, special teams. We're also in the process of evaluating the potential UFA market, the unrestricted free agent market coming up. Also looking at the draft right now. And so you're looking at all those different buckets and you're trying to come up with where the strengths and weaknesses are in each bucket. So let's say if you needed a receiver, is it a stronger market in the free agent market? Is it a stronger market in the draft where you'll hold off in free agency and wait to address those needs in the draft?
Handoff, Dalvin Cook, he spins it around the left side, turns it up at the 10, to the 5, touchdown! Dalvin Cook's first rushing touchdown is from 13 yards.
Obviously keep running the ball, but we got to use cadence, we got to do all those things, got to keep our hands
to the
clean.
outside. Oh, what an effort!
The Vikings can do no wrong on offense.
The thing that's a little different this year is with Kevin Stefanski taking over as the offensive coordinator and bringing in Gary Kubiak, we're going to be doing some different things on offense. So the most important thing we had to understand was with the new coaches coming in, what do they think of our players? Where do they see some of our needs on offense? And what type of players, as far as physical traits, are they looking for to function in the offense? So it's a little bit different this year, not only because you're identifying your needs and where you need to get better, but now you got a whole new set of eyes coming in from the outside that are going to get a fresh look at your players, but also how are those players going to fit into your system.
Yeah, have you and Coach Zimmer seen some of the new members of the staff with the existing members of the staff working well together? And
yeah, it's been excellent. We've had a couple meetings from a personnel standpoint, putting in a lot of hours as far as designing and developing what our offensive system's going to look like. And also with the players that we do have on this roster, what are things that they can implement in this offense to fit their strengths as a player?
With the Combine coming up, where would you put it in terms of how important this event is to our evaluation prospect of guys?
I think it's very important. Now, you know, we covered all the All-Star games. I was down at the Senior Bowl, got an opportunity to see some of the top seniors. You know, the other thing that was a huge advantage for us this year was 5 of our coaches coached in the East-West All-Star game. So they got a pretty good feel for those players and actually were able to get a sense on how they are as players, not only on the field, but what they do in the classroom. But the Combine is a huge part of our process. It's the first time we're going to get an opportunity to get in front of a lot of these juniors that are coming out. I can't put enough how important it is for the physicals and the physical exams that we do. The interview process is extremely important, and we'll get an opportunity to see them do some things on the field as well.
Yeah, and then when you guys come out of the Combine, in terms of process, what are some other things that you guys will really home in on once you come away from Indianapolis getting ready for the draft?
The one thing is we'll have a meeting when everybody gets back in town, and we'll go through and evaluate what we've seen at the Combine. Did we get enough work done on this player? Are we satisfied? Do we have everything we need as far as checking all the boxes on this player? We set up our spring workout travel schedule on who's going where and who's going to go out. We work on our top 30 visits, which guys we want to bring in here on the top 30. Guys that we still have questions on as far as maybe medical or character or learn. We go through our due diligence on all the processes that we have in place to make sure we get those all answered. And then when we come back together as a group in April to start our final draft meetings, we should have all those answers. we finalize the draft grades and get ready to go.
What part of the process do you feel you've got a pretty good handle on this class of players, what the identity is, where the strengths are?
I think, we're actually this week in draft meetings. So I think by the end of this week, as far as not having all the answers to the tests, as far as the psychological or the medical scores yet, or the intelligence scores, or the verified height, weights, and speeds and everything we look at, but you'll have a pretty good sense of where we have these guys graded on the draft board. To me, this is the purest your draft board is as far as just talent evaluation, because you don't have a lot of like I said earlier, the answers to the tests, but basically you're grading players just purely off what you've seen as a football player. And then we'll implement all of the ancillary things that we get in to finalize the board and shift some things around.
You guys really are going to spend a lot of time on all the positions and all the players. The public and fans are looking to improve areas that they think are weaknesses. So for scouts and even for yourself, is it hard to not have a bias when you're, to have a positive bias toward the players that you think can help your team?
The one thing you don't want to do is ever pass up a very good player for just an average to mediocre player just to fill a need. So depending on, how we come out and how active we are in free agency, will also dictate which direction we go in the draft. But we've always been a firm believer here on trying to take best players available, hopefully filling needs as well. But you have to fill your needs this time of year, either in the draft or in free agency. But a lot of times it all starts back to when we had our personnel meetings with our coaches and with our scouts. And, everybody's talking about on the outside what the weaknesses are, but there are other reasons just besides physical play why that might be a need or look like a need on the outside. But if you're sitting there and you have a Pro Bowl player at one position, but it doesn't fill a need, I don't think you pass up a Pro Bowl player, because eventually he's going to be an impact player for you.
Yeah. With the draft, it's about player acquisition, and in free agency, players are coming and going. Is it sometimes a hard part of the job to decide on if a player is going to come back or not, or to see a player that you like but he ends up leaving? Is that a tough part of the job for you?
Yeah, no, you have to make a lot of difficult decisions. And as we finalize our off-season plan here over the next couple of weeks, free agency starts in the middle of March. We'll have a pretty good sense of where everything is after we get back from the combine. And then make the final decisions on how you're going to move forward. And sometimes you have to make business decisions, and business decisions are very tough, part of this job. And there's guys that you love as people that have done a lot for this organization, but you also have to do everything you can to put the most competitive team on the field year in and year out.
I know that you have a lot of people on your staff that help you and support you, and there have been some changes, and then you have had some of the individuals who have been here for a long time, but how have you felt about the job your staff has done?
Oh, they're outstanding. I mean, with George Payton and Ryan Munnins leading the pro department, and Jamal Stevenson leading the college department, there's such continuity here. Everybody knows what's expected. Everybody understands the process, the systems that we use. So it's very, very fluid and smooth.
Have you figured out how to use the new draft board in there yet?
Yeah, it's been excellent. Okay. It's made us so much more efficient, and gives us a lot more time to do things that are important in the evaluation process. And the efficiency and all the new technology in there is a huge, I believe, competitive advantage as far as trying to make the best decisions possible.